Now, everybody wants the promise, but nobody wants the process. I am not one of those influencers, top producers that's going to tell you, girl, just work 1 hour. In the beginning, it's going to require more than 1 hour worth of work. Okay. But you do have time. And so I had a home based business, but I was never home initially. And so many times I missed. Okay. So those of you that are working a traditional job, that was me. When I started on a part time basis. So many times I missed putting my son to bed every night. I missed cooking dinner every night for my husband and my boys. And so there are no shortcuts to success. It's all about the process. There's no elevator to the top. You can only take the stairs, baby. Sometimes the struggles is what you need to make you stronger. And I know you guys have heard the story about the butterfly, where the cocoon and the little boy, he snipped it with a pair of scissors. Yes, you heard that before. No, you've never heard that story before. Okay, so a young boy picked up a butterfly cocoon and he took it home. And so he watched over the course of hours as the butterfly was struggling to break free from its confined, little cocoon. And so the butterfly managed to get a little piece of his body out in the small hole, but its body was too large to actually emerge. And so he was just tired and exhausted. And so the little boy thought he was doing him a favor. And the boy snipped a split of the cocoon with a pair of scissors. And the butterfly was able to emerge easily. And the butterfly was so small and weak, and its wings were crippled. And so the boy expected the insect to just fly away and like, I saved you. But what happened is he ended up crippling him because he helped him. And so sometimes the struggle is what you need for your strength. He didn't realize the reason why he was struggling because the fluid was getting to the wings so he could fly easily on his own. And so this is how God works, I believe, with us. If everybody gave it to you and made it easy, you wouldn't know the struggle. So what he did actually hurt the butterfly. And so what I want to tell you is there's a process to success. And so I believe a struggle, right, in anything, it's going to take all of you. It's going to require all of you. And so I know for sure when I was in corporate America and I started my side hustle, I struggled, right, to do both. I struggled to maintain a full-time job, wife, mother, build a business. Okay. I had to fall in love with the process. There were late nights. I'm not going to tell you, girl, you're not going, There were late nights. A little sleep, no television. You better catch this. No hanging out with friends to build, my business. Eventually I was able to lay off corporate America. Divorce the outcome, marry the process. You better write that down. Divorce the outcome, marry the process. I wanted time freedom so badly, I was going to do whatever it takes. I wanted time freedom, and there was a price to pay to get it. There's a price to pay for your success. If you want to be on top, everything you want in life has a price connected to it. There's a price to pay for it, right? You're going to pay now or you're going to pay later. We had when I grew up, I ate these candies called now laters. Okay. So you're going to pay now or you're going to pay later. You better get some now laters. And so there's a price on everything, a price to pay just for leaving things as they are, a price for everything. A price is what we pay. Value is what we get. Now, was it valuable for me to sacrifice? Absolutely. Because now I was late coming on because I was able to take my son to football practice, pick him up from football practice, take his little friend home because I was obedient to the process. Now I'm going to help you out. These are some things you need to do so you can start enjoying the process that you're in, because nobody likes it. It doesn't always feel good. Step one, you got to understand your process. I don't know what business you're building. I don't know your projects that you're working on, but write this down. A pretty person is going to put this in the chat for me. Understand your process. Write it down in detail, how you're currently doing things and where you can change it. And so when I got online, I was really confused because I built my business offline. And so I was like, how am I going to get an online presence? What type of post should I be, putting out to attract the people that I want? And so you got to ask yourself some hard questions. How do you learn? Everybody's different, right? I'm a visual and auditory learner. I learned sales and marketing by watching, by looking and listening, not by reading. So if you're that type of person that you like to read, then that's different. For me, when I worked in corporate America, in the car, I was listening to podcasts. I was listening to YouTubes. I was listening to other people like myself. And those of you that are, is Clubhouse still a thing? Listening and learning in the car. This became Drive Time University. Write that down. In the car is always Drive Time University. You do have time to learn. Okay. It's what you do with the time. You're not listening to the radio. You're not talking on the phone. That's Drive Time University. That's when you're learning because you're listening to somebody who's doing what you want to do. Number two, what else you need to do is evaluate your process. If right now you just wake up and you say, I'm going to work my part-time business, I'm going to work my side gig, but you don't actually, you don't have a plan to do that. So what's working and what isn't working? We know just waking up and saying whatever happens, happens doesn't work. It's working for me when I time block. So I use apps to time block my day out. It doesn't work just to wake up and hope it works out for you. That's not a plan of action. And I need you to take your time seriously. We all have the same 24 hours in a day. The beggar and the billionaire have the same 24 hours. You better get with the program. Number three, write this down. Study what other people do. When I tell you, let me tell you a secret. I will study the heck out of people. They don't even know I'm studying them. There are people that I watch, I study all their stuff. I'm secretly watching and learning. Study what other people do, especially if they're in your niche. Whether it's someone you admire, whether it's a mentor or someone famous, right? Super successful, like an Oprah or whoever. You look up to this person, find out how they do things. When I found out most successful people wake up early in the morning. Well, unfortunately, I always have to wake up early because my son, right? He always has some activities. But if you are not that person, you're like, oh, I'm not a morning person. It's interesting that you say that because if you go to your job and you go every day on time, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, you are a morning person. So you're reporting to somebody. But when it's time to work for ourselves, we become, oh, I'm not a morning person. You've got to discipline your actions. Okay. So study other people and start to mimic what they're doing. Now, I didn't say, be a copycat. Although if you copy the right cat, you're still good to go. But you're going to make it yours. But I study certain people, I'm telling you, like a hawk. I can tell you everything about certain people. They don't even know I study them. Number 4, anticipate problems in the process. Now, of course, most people think, oh, I have a process. I'm going to wake up at 7 a.m. I'm going to get to work. I'm going to take a break in 4 hours. Every single one of you should be taking a break at your job. You do have by law 15 minutes. You got a 15-minute break every 4 hours, right? I will be working on my craft during that time, okay? Now, you got to anticipate problems might happen. They might call you in a meeting or, something else happened. That's okay. Nobody likes to admit that things could fall apart. Denzel Washington, love him, so attractive. He said it best. When you ask for rain, you have to deal with the mud too. People don't anticipate problems happening, but they are going to happen. But you got to understand, okay, this is a part of the process. I want to learn. I'm open to learning. It's all good. When you start having that type of attitude, it's all good, baby. It is what it is. You will have a better day, a more productive day. So have systems to help with problems that may occur. They say the average person, yes, have goals, but winners have systems. Jerusha, I'm going to say it again for the people in the back. The average person have goals, but winners have systems. You got to have a system in place just in case, right? If I'm thrown off of my schedule, because I use an app to schedule out my day. If I'm thrown off the schedule, I change it a little bit, but I don't get frustrated like I used to because I'm very impatient. I like for my schedule to go exactly how I put it down the night before. And so I've learned to be like, all right, we're like, it is what it is, adjust. Because I want to have a good attitude going into my next project, right? And so I want you to have systems in place. Everyone knows what system stands for, right? Yes or yes. Say, Jerusha, I know it. Save yourself time, energy, and money. System. Write the acronym out. Save yourself time, energy, and money. You got to have some type of system in place, okay? Number 5, a part of growing through this process is account for yourself. I'm going to tell you a secret. You're the problem. You're the solution because you're not accounting for yourself. You're not accounting you. How do you spend your morning before going to work? Account for your time. I became a professional time thief. I could tell you exactly how I built my business when I worked a full-time job. I was obsessed with every moment building my business, following up, calling people back, texting people, emailing people. Every free moment when I worked in corporate America, I was stealing my time. Is this efficient and productive? Is this an income producing activity? Is it helping you get to where you want to be? If it doesn't make dollars, it doesn't make sense, right? And so I'm not going to do it. It doesn't make dollars. It don't make sense for me to do it. Somebody else needs to do that. I need to account for my activities. I can tell you right now, most people don't account for themselves. Yeah, they do not. Because if you did, you wouldn't say it's other people's problems. If you did, you wouldn't blame other people. You're the problem. You're the solution. You're it. You figure it out. Everything is figure outable, baby.